All right, hi everyone, this is Dr. Khraizat from Michigan Women's Care, and today we're just going to go through the proper hand washing techniques. You've heard a lot about this over the past couple of months, obviously with coronavirus, but it is important to know the proper hand washing technique even in non-coronavirus time. We'll go through it and I'll explain what I'm doing at each step, and hopefully that can be helpful for people and to teach your kids what the proper way to wash the hands. So initially, hopefully if you have a sensor that is helpful, but if you don't, I'll go over some of what you should do about that as well. But I'm going to try to soak my hands or get them all thoroughly wet. And warm water is always going to be preferable to cold water, just because it helps the soap suds be a little bit more active and to be a little bit more larger amount of suds. Does it matter if it's liquid soap versus bar soap? Not really. It's the soap that breaks down the fat of the lipid layer of the virus and most other viruses on your hands, and also washes away the chemicals or the grime or the oils that are on your hands. So either liquid soap or bar soap. Does it matter if it's antibacterial soap? Not at all. So you can use regular soap that's not antibacterial, and that's going to be efficient and effective at killing the virus as well. So we're going to put some soap on our hands, just enough to make sure that we get a nice froth and suds. And this should take at least 20 seconds. But first we're just going to get our hands nice and soapy, and then palms first against each other, and then over your right hand over your left hand to get in the interdigitary space. So between the digits, like this, because we want to make sure that these areas are getting cleaned, and then vice versa to reverse it. And then we're gonna flip and do it on the opposite sides between our fingers. Same thing here. And then the nails, and under the nails is where a lot of germs and bacteria and viruses can build up. So we're gonna put our nails in the soap suds to try to wash under the nails. Same thing on the other side. And then if you notice, so far we've done our fingers, these fingers and between the fingers, but we haven't touched the thumbs yet. So it's very important not to forget the thumbs. So you're gonna go like this to wash your thumb. So between your right fist, and that's getting this area right here also between your thumb and your index finger. Okay, notice I'm not wearing my wedding ring, I'm not wearing any jewelry, and it's preferable if you don't have any jewelry, or I'm not wearing my watch since this coronavirus outbreak started. Bacteria and grime and dirt can be under those jewelry and under the watch. So I've gone without a tie, without a suit ever since this outbreak happened, just because I'm trying to keep as minimal as possible to try to decrease the risk of surfaces on my body picking up bacteria or virus. So it's been over 20 seconds for sure. I've showed you how the process is. This is actually how we wash our hands when we're doing surgery, except we go up to our elbows. And then we're going to turn the water back on. And when you're trying to wash the soap off, instead of going like this to let the water drip off this way, it's preferable if you're more like angling this way, just so that way the water is dripping off this by your wrist, as opposed to any dirty water coming off of your fingernails and getting your hands dirty again. So that's the proper technique. Now, what if I don't have a sensor on my sink? Then at this point, if this had a push lever or a handle on it, I would have used my elbow to close it. Or if it was a side handle, I would have used my elbow. Or alternatively, the water would still be on. If this was not automatic, I would be using a towel to turn off the water. To dry your hands during these times, it's preferable to use paper towels. If you're going to use a cloth towel, then you want to be, this got close to it. If you want to use a cloth towel, then you want the cloth towel to be clean, and you're drying between your fingers and your thumb, and now you've got clean hands without any rings or any jewelry on. Air dry is also very acceptable. If there's an air dryer in the bathroom, or just letting your hands air dry is also acceptable. Hopefully these tips have been helpful, and we want to keep our hands clean, especially during times like this, but at all times it's a very good habit to be in, and hopefully you found this information to be helpful. Thank you very much.